Shut up and sit down.
Oh, hello, welcome to a North Wales side-by-side video. I had a Volkswagen Golf 2016 Type R in the workshop today, and it came in for oil and filter change. That's all he wanted doing to it, and also reset the service monitor on the dashboard, and the engine management light was on. So we had a couple of things to do to it. So he booked it in about a week ago, and being as I know the history of this car and the fact it's got a stage 2 tune on it, and it's got a different turbo on it, front mounted intercooler, and it's had a lot of work done to it, but it's all been done to a standard engine. He's not had any mods done to the engine. The engine is as it came out of Volkswagen, other than the fact it's got 60,000 miles on it. So I had a word with a friend of mine who's a Volkswagen technician, and I said to him, I'm a bit worried about putting Volkswagen's recommended oil in this car. Told him what had happened to the car, what mods it had had, and he said straight away 2015, 2016, 17 Golf R's originally came out of Volkswagen, he said, with 540 oil in them, and it wasn't till 2018 Volkswagen went to a 530. But he said now Volkswagen recommend 530 for the entire Golf R range. He says, I don't know why, but he says I wouldn't feel safe putting 530 into a car that's done 60,000 miles and been modified. I'd stick with the 540. Then he found me the service bulletin from 2018, which explains which cars came out the factory with 540 and when they changed to 530, and he sent me the link to it. So I've done the job today, changed the filter, used a genuine Volkswagen filter, and I've used Castrol Edge 540 oil in this car. Went put the scanner on it to reset the service schedule, and my friend who's the Volkswagen technician said with a car that's been modified and it's got all the mods done to it, he said I'd change the oil every 5,000 miles on that particular car, but I'd have a word with your customer first and tell him not to do 10,000 mile oil changes on it, to do 5. So I had a word with the customer and he said that do it at 7.5. His choice, he wants 7.5. So I've set the service intervals up for 7.5. Then I told the customer about the oil I'd used in it, and he said straight away, take it out, put 530 in it, because he says I've looked at the Castrol website, he said, and the Castrol say 530. I said no. I says I'll show you a PDF from Volkswagen telling you what oil should be in your car. I says I'm sticking to my guns and I'm leaving 540 in it. I'm not willing to take on board putting the thinner oil in it, knowing this car's modified and it makes a crap load more power than a standard Golf R. I feel happier with the 540. Plus, I've got the PDF that my friend sent me from Volkswagen stating that's what it should have in it out the factory. And that's what I'm happy to put in it, because I've got that PDF that came directly from Volkswagen to tell me that's what it should have in it. So I'm sticking to my guns on that. So whilst I was in the ECUs to figure out what was wrong with the engine management light.
From Daniel, be safe in the wilderness.
It's a pain in the arse. All he's done is send me text messages today, my friend. I was in the ECU and it came up with a load of codes. Some were engine management related, some weren't. One was a code because he did tell me his automatic high beam didn't work on this car. Well, the module's not working. It's got power, it's got ground, but it's not getting a camber signal. So he needs a new module on the high beam, which has also put a fault in the gateway to say there's a CAN-bus error. So I'm not going to worry about the CAN-bus fault and the high beam module. I've told him about it, I've reported the fault. But the one that really did alarm me was the codes in the engine management computer. And I didn't realise Volkswagen did this. I found 17 over-rev codes in that car. I did not know Volkswagen logged every time you over-revved your Golf R engine. And it dated, timed, everything was in the code. When you pull the code up, you can do like a history check when that code was logged and what all the parameters were: engine temperature, oil temperature, boost pressure, time of day, throttle position, engine RPM, everything. And all these codes stem from the stage 2 tune he's got in the car, and every one of them was an 8,000 RPM over rev. Whoever's done the tune has set the rev limiter so high, it's just like, that's not a safe rev limiter. It's way too high. You shouldn't be buzzing one of them engines to 8,000 RPM. The boost's tailed off, maximum torque has tailed off. It's just not a safe thing to do. But there was 17 over revs in it. But that wasn't what turned the engine management light on. What turned the engine management light on was a misreporting engine temperature sender, which I had to go and buy. So that problem's sorted. So if you're playing Volkswagens and you've got a tune in it and it's not a very good tune, be aware that your ECU is going to monitor every single over rev that you do in that engine. If the car's in warranty and Volkswagen see them over revs, you're not going to get a warranty claim on the blown up engine. They won't entertain it, because they'll just tell you you've revved it too hard, you were on a downshift or something like that, because 3 or 4 of them were downshift over revs where he's gone into a corner really quick and he's gone down 1 gear and it just buzzed the engine when he's let the clutch up. So you got to be careful with things like that. So am I right to stick to my guns, having taken advice off Volkswagen to put the 540 in it and not the customer's choice of 530? Because I think I am, and I can back it up with the PDF and the information given to me by Volkswagen from their original fills on these engines. Just let me know what you think, because all I've done is follow the original manufacturer's information for the year that that car was built. Even though Volkswagen have now changed the specs and they're now saying 530, I'd rather err on caution and put the thicker oil in it. Because one, it's a tuned engine, two, it's got 60,000 miles on it, so it's got some wear on it, and I know it's driven very, very hard. So let me know what you think, as I'm happier personally knowing it's got good oil in it, it's got fully synthetic Castrol edge, I've dropped this service limit, I've done everything that needed doing, cleared the engine management light, and we're all sorted as far as I'm concerned. It's just that he's a little bit concerned that I've put the wrong oil in it. But these are the kind of things you have to put up with when you're working on cars, and customers are only using information that's on the internet. A precautionary story. Do some research before you do the job. Go back in the archives, talk to somebody who works for Volkswagen if you know somebody, get the correct information, put the correct oils in, do a good job, clean and tidy up after yourself, and be happy with what you've done. Because at the end of the day, if anything goes wrong with that car, I know I'm going to get it back, and I know he's going to blame me if it blows up, and I then become the warranty. But see what happens and see where it leads. If he comes back to me and says, look, I'm not happy with 540, will you put it back on 530, and he gets the oil, then fair enough, I'll do it for him. But I won't be happy doing it. I'd rather leave it as it is, knowing how hard he drives the car and the fact it's got a tune on it. Anyhow, thanks for listening. Once again, we're out in the car. Believe it or not, I'm actually still working. I've got one more call at 11:30, so I'm going to make my way to my last customer call tonight, and then I'm knocking it on the head and I'm going home to edit these videos and get them up onto YouTube for you lot. Thanks for watching. Please consider liking, please consider subscribing. Once again, hope you've enjoyed a bit of time out in the car with me tonight. Have a good night. Enjoy.